What happened while we were away, brought to you by playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced this morning the United States will be restricting visas to foreign government officials who have attempted to censor American speech. Rubio said in a statement, quote, "Foreigners who work to undermine the rights of Americans should not enjoy the privilege of traveling to our country." You've probably seen posts from influencers, journalists, or maybe you've been on the receiving end of emails from the old Twitter about how your profile or posts were reported to like the German government for violating one of their laws. Well, this new action from Rubio aims to hold accountable those foreign officials who attempt to censor American speech. The Supreme Court is declining to hear a case involving a Massachusetts student who was banned from school for wearing a shirt criticizing the rainbow jihad. The student, Liam Morrison, brought the case through his father and stepmother, Christopher and Susan Morrison. The plaintiffs argue that Nichols Middle School violated his free speech rights when it banned him from wearing two T-shirts to school with the words, "There are only two genders and there are only censored genders" on the front. Justices Thomas and Alito dissented, saying the Supreme Court should have taken up the case. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is blasting Republicans in Congress for waiting so long to codify any Doge cuts into law.
Elon Musk went into this Doge effort. He was getting lampooned. I mean, like, they're firebombing his Tesla dealerships. Media is smearing him relentlessly. His businesses suffered, all this stuff, because he basically said, look, we can't keep doing this, and we need to moderate and reduce the amount of money that the federal government is spending. And yet, we have a Republican Congress, and to this day, we're in the end of May, past Memorial Day, and not 1 cent in Doge cuts have been implemented by the Congress. I don't think there's any question that Doge fought the swamp, and so far the swamp has won. And that's just unfortunate, but I don't think you can look at this any other way.
Meanwhile, Elon Musk confirms he's not happy with the big, beautiful bill.
I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. I mean, like, everything he's done on Doge gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both.
Former Transportation Rear Admiral Pete Buttigieg says Democrats need to stop being condescending.
If I hear one more time, like, a well-off liberal doctor or lawyer saying, that, quote unquote, these folks are voting against their economic interests, I just wonder whether they ever contemplated the fact that somebody could turn around and say, so are you. There's a condescension that is imputed to Democrats that I think we really need to deal with. So much of politics is not just how you make people feel, but how you make people feel about themselves. And so much of what they think of you comes down to what they think you think of them.
Learning Chinese today. Today's phrase is, "Why did you grow a beard, Pete?"
皮特，你为什么留胡子?
The year is 2025, and Dr. Greasy Hair, a.k.a. Peter Hotez, is stuck in the year 2021.
We called it a respiratory virus. It was probably first and foremost a thromboembolic virus, right? It was, causing coronary artery blockage and heart attacks and strokes. And so actually one of the best ways to protect your heart health was actually getting vaccinated and keeping up with your boosters.
Checking in on King Charles's visit to Canada.
I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. This land acknowledgement is a recognition of shared history as a nation.
Back to Seattle for the second time in recent days. Violent Antifa degenerates tried to mess with a group of Christians gathered in a public space, this time out front of City Hall in Seattle. Discovery Institute journalist Jonathan Cho was assaulted by one Antifa degen. And finally, Ethel at Right Wing Watch clipped this from Steve's recent appearance with Eric Stacklebeck.
This is demonic levels of gaslighting. And I'm just telling you, Eric, I've worked in politics full time for almost 20 years. All right. Human nature is not capable of multi-level conspiracy theories where the entire executive branch of the U.S. government is in on something. Nobody leaked. Nobody got sold out. Nobody got betrayed, and I think that stuff comes from beings from another plane.
Here's how Right Wing Watch captioned that clip, quote, right-wing commentator Steve Deace says the Biden administration was involved in demonic levels of gaslighting that was orchestrated by Satan. Steve doesn't know that I'm going to do this, and I don't feel compelled often to clean up after his messes, but I think some clarification is probably helpful here. What Steve was actually trying to say, what he actually meant, is that the Biden administration was involved in demonic levels of gaslighting that was orchestrated by Satan. Hope that helps. And that's what happened while we were away.